needs to do this, but my frustration is that the message is so difficult to convey, whereas this naive narrative that these guys are spreading is so easy for people to understand. It's basically, shut up and get yourself vaccinated and also get your kids vaccinated, which is the biggest disaster ever, because this is the biggest reservoir for herd immunity. They have innate immunity. They can clear this virus. This is, from a public health viewpoint, a disaster, not only for the child, but also, and the more children we will vaccinate, the more we will, of course, expedite this immune escape and get to this kind of variant that will not only be highly infectious, fully resistant to the vaccines, and also highly virulent, right? And that is where these guys, if they don't believe me, they should simply wait and see what is going to happen. But it will be too late.
It'll be too late at that point.
So if you would ask me to set up an experiment where I can induce this resistance and generate a highly infectious SARS-CoV-2 virus with a high level of virulence that is completely resistant against the COVID-19 vaccines, the experiment that we are doing is exactly what I would do. Exactly that. Right.
The experiment we're doing on humanity. Yeah.
Preferably immunize all the children, right? It's criminal. It's not going to have a happy end. Believe me. If these guys like Fauci, Ovid, etc., think that this is just going to die out, the end of a pandemic phase just spontaneously because we have Omicron, and then from time to time we will give an additional shot and we will come with a new Omicron vaccine, and if that doesn't help, we add a little bit of Paxlovid. I mean, this is just a shame. This is an insult to science. This is an insult to all people who have been coerced and forced into these vaccination campaigns. I have no words for this. Yes,
so
a short answer. Yes, I'm more concerned than before. What I can say, and I mean, I'm really very serious about this because I've been thinking a long time about this. The losses will be unprecedented. I'm always saying Africa will win. The countries that barely vaccinated their people, you see this, for example, now in South Africa. I don't know whether you have seen these curves. You have a steep increase of one Omicron variant, and then it was calm, like for a few months, and then you had another steep curve. You don't see this in our countries anymore, in the highly vaccinated countries. South Africa has approximately 30-35% of vaccinated people. So you still have an important young population that can clear the virus. And that is how these waves can still be brought down. But as I was saying, this is going to be dramatic for highly vaccinated countries, and I really cannot imagine if we don't intervene with mass antiviral chemoprophylaxis. Of course, you could say we need a baby boom to immediately dilute this whole thing so that we have herd immunity, but that cannot happen within a short time. You could say we can have massive immigration from people coming from poorly vaccinated countries, but for example, now with Ukraine, etc., what I'm seeing is that they get already vaccinated at the border when they come in, right? So none of this is going to help, and this cannot be put back into balance. Without major sacrifice. If you don't act on the virus, if you don't want to do this, and you just drive it into more and more infectious variants, then the other alternative is, of course, the host population. I mean, what else? It is not 25 different factors that are contributing to this. You hear us all the time talking about infectious pressure and immune pressure, right? And that is the two factors you can play with. I don't want to think about it even. And of course, there is nothing we can base it. There is nothing we can use as a comparison. This experiment is completely unprecedented, and it is massive. It involves all age groups, right? It is massive. So that is why I'm saying the damage will also be massive. But don't ask me to, for numbers, but the only thing I can say is that, according to my humble opinion, it will really be unprecedented. It will be unprecedented, and I still hope somewhere that one or the other force will convince those who are in charge to change their mind. But as you were saying, it's very unlikely, because it seems like they prefer to die themselves before, admitting that they were completely wrong, right? And for people, it's extremely difficult because for them, it's very, very difficult to understand. There was only one thing we needed, and you started the interview with my first video. We should never have had vaccine mandates. We should have had debate mandates, a mandate for debate. Scientists should have been obliged to get together to discuss with us, so that people could understand, like we are doing right now, that it's not all that simple, and that is very complex matter that have been shaped throughout millions of years through evolution, and that it just like during a war where you destroy one piece of architecture where people have been working for tens of years, sometimes hundreds of years, to build something fantastic, and then they just throw one bombshell on this and it's all gone, right? That is the kind of image that I have in my head. The stupidity of mankind and the stubbornness that will have, of course, major consequences that are unpredictable, but as I was saying, unprecedented.